Alex, what are you doing?
I'm just working here.
What are you doing at my desk?
I'm actually done here, so I'm done.
No. Alex, all my files are gone. What did you do?
Your time's coming, you clockwork elf demon gay frog.
That's what I've been saying this whole time,
exactly.
demon gay frog.
Every time.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to hear you ribbit right now, demon gay frog.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ribbit!
Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit! Ribbit!
Ribbit.
We got one!
You suck, Sam!
Space aliens!
Let's go through you!
That is a wonderful sip. Hey, really quickly, just as we're coming in right now live on CNN, looks like there was a shooting, including a police officer, 6 victims in Louisville.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the bottom of that, or we'll see what breaks as we do this live. So obviously, people will mock this, but obviously our prayers to the families, all of those affected, because that's all we can offer right now. People say, "Oh, shouldn't we react?" No. We don't need. I'm learning about this right now because CNN just turned on, and that is not a time to create policy. But we did have a lot that we were planning to get to today, and I don't know if we'll still have time to get to all of it, depending on what's happening with Louisville. But I don't know if you know this, Mario crushed at the box office.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was so. That's a silver lining. That's a happy story. Not so happy. Riley Gaines was assaulted this weekend, and we're going to put together here. We'll have, and we will not be able to do it on YouTube. So if you're watching, oh, that's right, we're back on YouTube for a little bit.
Oh, come on.
But we're not going to be on YouTube a lot today because we haven't figured out the rules yet.
Well, there are no rules. That's the
So
rule.
today, once we do this, we're putting together the definitive transgender hit list, meaning activists who have assaulted, who have committed mass shootings. A lot of you kind of know the science behind some of the comorbidities that come with it, but we actually have put together a definitive list so you can reference it, and you have that kind of at your disposal, which we cannot do on the YouTube. And we will also be talking, of course, about Daniel Perry in Austin, who was just convicted for what the detective and what the evidence said was a rightful shoot, and the governor of Texas says was a rightful shoot in self-defense. But they're railroading the guy. So my question for you are, what do you think? My question for you is, bad grammar right off the top.
It's a rough day.
You dummy, you smooth brain. That's to myself. What do you think the implications are for the country with the rise right now of trans violence and the emboldening of it? We're seeing a lot of it, and I don't expect this to get better unless we start getting a handle on it. And I mean, assessing the scenario realistically, not just under the guise of tolerance, as though that necessarily means compassion or empathy. Gerald is CEO. Gerald A., how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm distracted because of the shooting. I was just in Louisville, and it's not a nice place.
No.
It is not. That's right. Yakuza was there too.
Kind of boring.
He echoed very quickly. No.
Yeah.
By the way, happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
On a brighter note,
That's true. He
somebody rose from the grave.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I do not deserve it at all. When I think of the horrendous crap that I have done, and that that Jesus was crucified for me, like I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to feel bad. We're not supposed to have the guilt, right? But I do. I'm like, oh, I remember what I did when I was in 8th grade when I was 14, and the pictures I looked at.
Well,
She-Hulk?
Are those the worst of the offenses?
No, they're not the worst of the offenses.
Certainly not.
No, I did some stuff during the 30-hour famine at youth group to the church orange juice that frankly could have killed people.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, and you know him, you love him. We'll be talking about what's going on in Austin, so he came out. We're always happy to have him in third chair. You can go to madmaxworld.tv to watch him. We'll be broadcasting from here today at noon. Alex Jones, how are you, sir?
It is always great to be here, my friend.
And you even came in with your own headset because you don't like headphones.
That's right. I mean, I'm ugly
You're a
enough, so
homophobe.
I
Get
don't.
off my.
I look like Princess Leia with headphones. You look good with yours over there.
Well-
and hey, I've not sliced my nose open today.
That's true.
Hey,
Did it heal
there we
up
go.
nicely?
Yeah.
It did.
Did you have to go to the doctor?
No,
No?
not that bad.
You just did a little bit of the tape? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Oh, good. And you're not sick?
No, I was sick when I was here last time. I feel very good today.
Good. Yeah, he was sick as a dog. That's what
But I couldn't miss this. The biggest show of political talk out there.
Well, we appreciate it. And yeah, last time he comes in, he's like, just so you know, last time I was sick, I wasn't trying to be rude, not shake your hand. I didn't know what I had. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. He's a very thoughtful guy. He's a teddy. It doesn't hurt your image if I say you're a teddy bear, does it?
Thank you very much.
You're a nice guy.
You're a very
All right.
nice guy. Yeah.
All right. So before we move on to all of this.
Before we move on to that,
Oh, God.
China's about to invade Taiwan, but no big deal. Sorry, go ahead.
What? Wait. You the Chiron?
Yeah. Is this?
We know it's been, this has been festering for a while. Do you mean there's actually been like.
They've encircled it, and they say they're ready to go. And the word is they can start a blockade basically in the next few months, and that leads to war. I know that's not on the hit list. Just thought I'd mention it.
Well, that's in the next few months, Alex. We're talking about today.
Yes,
We'll have months to get to it.
you're right. War with China,
No, of course we're going to get to it, Alex. All right, this is a great start Monday. No, we talked about that actually when Ukraine-Russia happened. A lot of people don't realize that depleting our reserve, depleting our stockpiles, when there actually is a United States national interest, when you understand, the security of Taiwan, considering how reliant we are on them for chipsets.
80% of the chips.
Yep. That's
Something like 80% of the world traffic goes through that strait.
Yeah.
It's a serious situation. But I know that's for when World War III officially starts next month.
No, come on. Okay, look, he's all right.
This is like the tailgater for World War III.
Yes, exactly.
Like
exactly.
We're just all hanging out, having some beers.
No
enjoying
Bud Light.
life. No Bud Light.
Yingling. By the way,
Boy, they committed suicide.
I know. Or seppuku.
Have you seen the video of the woman that was their PR person? She said, I took control of Bud Light the last year, and I just thought that this would energize it, make it glowing and new and loving.
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
How much you want to bet that in her Bud Light can was White Claw?
Oh, yeah.
I'm more of a hard seltzer kind of lady.
She also said, I got to tell you that the ads were offensive before.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
The masculine ads.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Budweiser used to have the Clydesdale Bud Light. They had the Bud Light ladies.
Yeah.
And now we have penises. We have ladies
Well,
with penises.
ladies and
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because you wouldn't. Why would you want to appeal to your target demographic?
But again, it's very obvious that Mulvaney is trolling everybody. I mean, it's crazy comedian.
You think so? You think it's an Andy Kaufman?
Oh, it's 100% Andy Kaufman.
Really?
Oh, I bet money.
I haven't heard this.
Is that so, Bill Hicks?
Yes, I know. You see, Mulvaney faked his death and became a woman. I faked my death and became Bill Hicks. I mean,
Tim Alex
Jones.
Oh, the internet with conspiracy theories. All right. So on that topic, before we get to everything else, here is a woman, who thinks doesn't understand the actual definition of blasphemy.
If you're a homophobe, get off my f***ing page.
Okay.
If you're a transphobe, get off my f***ing page.
Done.
Yeah.
If you're a racist, get off my f***ing page.
Well, that's just.
If you think it's
toss it.
cool to threaten people with the idea of hell, get off my f***ing page.
Yes, I am doing blasphemy. Yes. And I am ready to go to hell.
Well, if that was Jesus, I'd be sitting there with the crowd of Pontius Pilate yelling, "Crucify him!" But the good news is that's not.
Hey, if it wasn't bad enough to have Mulvaney as your spokesperson, see sales tank 70% in just 1 week, now we've got people blaspheming Jesus on Easter. Great idea, Bud Light.
I don't even really think it's
Well,
blast. It's just someone dressed up as Jesus. I mean,
I know, but I'm just saying.
We're not Islam, Alex. I mean, come on.
no, Alex isn't. The point Alex is making is valid, but I don't
Yes,
think
it
anyone
is.
here
I'm
as a
not
Christian is
saying
offended.
I'm not saying we want to like stone him to death or
No.
or burn him or hang him at the soccer stadium.
Right. Yeah.
All I'm saying is the left. This is their target demographic. Literal 0.1% freakazoids.
Yeah, no, I think so too. But I think they misinterpret like Christians get like we're not offended at that. It's just lazy. It's like, yeah. Remember there was a Bible burning challenge that was happening?
Yeah.
I remember going like, well, fine, you're the one going to hell. Like, your wish is your command.
No, I mean, I want to be clear. I think you should be able to do whatever you want under free speech.
Yeah.
But I have a right to then say that that'll make me dislike Anheuser-Busch products even more.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
I'm not sure that was an official sponsor.
I don't think that was an official
I don't remember
sponsor.
Christ ever saying Bud Light.
No. Would have been
But that's who they're targeting. Well, Jesus
Yeah,
did
sure.
turn the water into wine.
Wine. Now we're on the same
And in the
page.
name of Jesus, I want to drink some liquor.
We'll have some afterward.
Wait. Jesus didn't distill anything.
Yeah, I don't
Made
think-
water
It was
into
grapes.
wine.
That's what they
Hey,
put.
I did get up at 3 a.m. to get out here.
They didn't put.
thank you.
They didn't
To
put
get to
vinegar
your
on the
South
sponge.
Texas studios here on the beach.
They put bush
Man,
ice on the
This is
sponge.
awesome. Are you right on the beach right here?
I love it.
Can I have a drink of water? Like, pah, bush ice, smite them. The curtain just tears and it
Fire
reveals
and
Coors
brimstone, yeah.
Banquet. All right. By the way, this is a live show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And you guys can watch on, there's still 1 month free of Mug Club. I guess there's one more week free.
Yeah.
This week and into next week. LouderWithCrowder.com/Mug Club. We have the Friday show, Nick DiPaolo show. Starts today.
Boom.
Well, you can go. I don't know. People can go watch it. Okay, let's get to Mario here really quickly. Are you a Mario fan? Would you play it?
Yes, I was not a huge video game guy, but from about the age of 8 to about 12 or 13, I was a huge video guy, and that was the game that I, would dominate and win it over and over again, and literally spent sometimes 5-6 hours eating Hot Pockets, and honey buns, and drinking gallons of Coca-Cola.
So that must have been before you were anti-Monsanto.
That was before I was anti-Monsanto. No, but I mean, seriously.
There's not a chemical that exists in nature in that diet,
Right,
Alex.
exactly. Well, I was also taking mushrooms while I was doing it.
Oh, really? Wow.
At 8?
No, yes. I'm joking.
In the arcade.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke. I don't think I ever took mushrooms while playing Mario Brothers, but I have taken mushrooms.
Yeah, you just do it when live broadcasting.
Well, once.
Once, you said, right? Once.
I've done it with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I was thinking about. Yes. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Mike Tyson goes, "Come to my house. We'll do the toad tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, you'll love it. It'll crush you."
You got a prior engagement, Mike?
Yeah. I don't know.
I was a little intimidated by that.
Oh, I can imagine.
Mike Tyson's actually an intimidating person. He's not that tall, but you can tell it's just solid muscle. Yeah. He gets out of this murdered out black Rolls Royce. He's like, "Had to take my mushrooms with me." I got toad at home.
That sounds like I've had literal nightmares that start that way.
Oh, boy.
So here's something good news, though. Mario Brothers just set a global opening weekend record for animated films.
Nice.
$377 million on a $100 million budget. Nice. And let's, I think, we have a clip, actually, from the film.
Oh, I got this. No problem. Yes! Come on, Mario! Our big adventure begins now! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
All right. Do we have the Leguizamo clip? We have both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'll run the other one first. So here's the thing. This is a good example of there's a disconnect between the critics and between the average viewer, right? We have Pixar and Disney. Remember Lightyear?
Yeah.
That took in
terrible one.
I believe it was $200 to make. Did it take in? How much did it take in globally?
$200 million. Yeah.
200. What did I say?
You said $200, which would have been.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Bring up Overlay B, CNBC. $200 million to make. And how much did it make? Its domestic opening.
$5.6 million.
That was its global opening?
Global opening weekend.
Global opening.
Global opening?
Yeah, not so good.
And Mario did $377 million?
Some would say that's more.
Oh, my gosh.
Everybody knows it's going to be endless lecturing. That's why Top Gun did so well.
Yeah.
And they're not even right-wing. They're just leave people alone and let them have a fantasy. That's why I can't watch anything on Netflix now. It's all brainwashing. Everybody knows that, but that's my same question. Why is Anheuser-Busch committing suicide? Why did Hollywood commit suicide? Why is the left doing this? Why are they like kamikazes?
Well, it's because of the ESG, right, score, and because of the, what's the other name, a component of the ESG, the index, where it's basically about BlackRock, Vanguard, right? They're looking at these stocks, and they're basically trying to manipulate people into fitting their agenda. And it's not about the consumer. It's about artificially manipulating the market so they can create the world. And this, I'm sounding like you.
No,
they can artificially recreate the world on their own vision.
So exactly, the banks have weaponized the media like a kamikaze is going to be destroyed, but it's a weapon. So they don't mind destroying the NBA, the NFL, all these things because to get the agenda in. Because once the central bank digital currencies are in, and once they have those ESG systems in where everything is tied to your behavior, it's mark of the beast, total control. It's game over.
Yeah, and they don't need to do anything with soccer because it's already there. So the Mario Brothers movie, though, by the way, this is a good example. It's not even necessarily anti-woke. It just shuns the idea of trying to be woke. So obviously the voice actor, Chris Pratt, who's a known Christian, I believe he's more conservative, he said this. He said, "This is the soundtrack to your youth. You don't want someone to come along and cynically destroy it. I fully understand that. You do not want that to happen." And by the way, critics did not like the movie. You can look at the contrast. Critics had 56%, whereas the audience had 96%. Let's read a quote here from a critic. Said, "It's a fan service above all else, regressively so." This is Eric Marchi. "Structuring a threadbare story around iconography linked to source material just isn't enough. It's a video game. And by the way, it's not even a video game with a real story when you go back to it,
There
okay?
wasn't a series of books written about Mario and Luigi, I don't think.
I mean, can you have 2 hours of, sorry, Mario, the princess is in another castle. Oh, shit. What are you going to do? Like, it's just...
In fact, that's more the reason they're starting to develop a story on a clean slate. It makes it very interesting. In fact, I'm going to go take my daughter to it. She's 6. I'm going to check it out because everybody knows that Pratt is not even really a conservative, but he's not a communist. So people also go because they know that, and it shows what people are hungry for.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think really, you know what, you guys share the Rumble show, by the way, out there. Hit the share button or the Rumble button, whatever it is. I don't know. But I'd love to hear from you. Comment below if I think conservatives out there, you're not necessarily looking for just a hard right or right-wing content, conservative content. You just want to know that you're not being sucker punched when you go into a studio. Like, when I do stand-up, I'll have openers who are not necessarily conservative. They're just not anti-conservative. Yeah. And they say, this is the best audience just because I know that I'm not going to offend people all the time. They say,
it's actual comedy. It's not a vehicle to beat people over the head.
Right, exactly. I have people who are, I wouldn't say liberals, but sometimes people open who are just kind of down the middle, and they're like, oh, this audience is great. It's fun. I don't have to walk on eggshells. They just want to know that you're not going to go out and go, aren't Christian conservatives stupid? Right? There was a comedy witch hunt when George W. Bush was president.
But by the way, people know there's a backlash. Joe Rogan's new club, The Mothership in Austin, sells out like $600 a ticket every night. And I've been there a few times, and the whole thing is basically anti-establishment. So the worm has turned. And sure, I was there earlier, you were there earlier, before everybody else kind of got on board. But I think that's a sign, a canary in the coal mine for the left that, hey, your studios are collapsing, your brands are collapsing, your force feeding isn't working, you need to give it up.
Well, and actually, speaking of that, and trying to force feed and committing his own career suicide, really kind of this was a self-inflicted wound from John Leguizamo. He was complaining about the casting not being diverse enough and went through a whole woke tirade. We have a clip of John Leguizamo.
Of Guerrero.
Well, that'll stop it right there.
I think we actually have...
I think that's the wrong one.
It's easy to confuse. Right clip.
Are you going to be watching Super Mario Brothers?
No, I will not be watching Super
Oh, my goodness.
So they could have included a Latin character. Like, I was groundbreaking, then they stopped the groundbreaking.
I know.
Yeah, I was groundbreaking.
They messed up the inclusion. They disincluded.
They messed up the inclusion. I'm going to include a lot of Latinos in the pest, too.
Asshole. Oh my God.
Technically, Latin comes from the Romantic language of the Romans, and so Mario Brother is a Latin character.
Yeah, if you want to get technical about it, but I'm hoping that they're going to do a menu number 3 where they'll cover me in mushroom sauce, burn me alive.
How the hell does he think he was groundbreaking?
I was groundbreaking and making the shittiest films of all time.
Facts. He's Betty Blanco from the Bronx.
Yes.
I can't believe
I remember as a child watching. The Pest was the movie that made me realize I could because when you're a kid, you like every movie. And I saw The Pest with John Leguizamo, and I said, this is so bad, I'd rather be doing anything else. And then, or it was before or after, I don't know the sequence, the same with the Mario film that he did. I'm going, what? It's like, wait, King Koopa has a blonde, what's going on? And this way, they're not even blonde. What is happening? It was so bad. So and the worst part is the lack of self-awareness. He thinks people are like, yeah, Leguizamo, it should be more like your Mario film.
Nope.
So let me give you a few fast facts here. Again, not diverse enough. Okay, first off, like you were saying, Italian, the Romance languages, but Italians like Mario and Luigi, if he's talking about, aren't actually Latino in the way that he would mean it. So I don't know why you would cast them that way. But Princess Peach also was not only white, she makes Larry Bird look ethnic, and she was voiced by an actress who's Argentinian. Another fact. Bowser, I don't know if this is a dragon in a turtle shell, and this movie is based off of an 8-bit video game. And another key fact, which interested me and shows you how out of touch John Leguizamo is with the average Latin American, CNN pointed out some startling statistics regarding viewership of this film.
Also a racial element here. Look at this. What share is Hispanic? 41% of Mario filmgoers were Hispanic versus just 8% of the U.S. media. So the fact is the U.S. media is not representative of the people who are actually going out to see these films, and that's why I think we're seeing this very large split.
By the way, 39% of them were just using the film as a babysitter. But look, progress.
Fair.
Exactly.
I had that when I went to a movie, and it was a rated R film.
Whoa.
And like they have. You'll see a lot of Latin Americans. They'll have kids running through. I'm like, really? At the Ring too? It's a hateful 8.
Yeah, kids will sleep well tonight.
Mama, I want a more Whopper and Gobstopper and Silencia.
Or do you end up like number 7?
Where am I? Hey, we're watching Hannibal, okay? So, actually, here to discuss this and more, we have Super Mario in studio.
Wow.
Thank you for being here. I guess MAGA Mario is that how you identify now?
Hi, Stephen. Yes. I don't understand the controversy.
Okay. Well, John Leguizamo said that your film is not diverse enough. Do you care to comment on that?
I'm from Italia.
Yeah.
It was made in America. It's diverse.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. You know, it's kind of a global in a positive sense. It settles it for me. Alex, do you have anything?
No, I just think that you're a hero to children everywhere, especially for the people that are into psychedelics and the mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's the mushrooms.
What kind of mushrooms?
What kind of mushrooms?
Yeah.
What kind of? Do we know what kind of mushrooms that he's on?
What is wrong with this man?
I don't necessarily know that either.
What's wrong with you, Mario?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's just.
You know what happens if you take those? I was just joking. You see interdimensional elves, demons. Where do you think the big monster that you're battling came from? It was you taking it. You're living in a hallucination. You've had a psychotic break.
This man needs help.
Yeah, okay, all right. That's what
No, you need help, Mario.
Okay, let's just. This is good.
You damn drug pusher. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? We've learned our. We've learned our lesson.
Did you just cuss at Mario?
Yeah.
He's a drug pusher.
He is.
He's a left-wing pervert. Look, if that ain't a pedo mustache, there ain't one.
Okay.
That guy driving around a white van in your neighborhood?
What do you think the mushroom stands for, Stephen?
Yeah.
Where does it occur in the human body?
Give him the mushrooms.
The lovely Mario. Always be polite. That's the only rule.
Put your hands in the back of my van, man. Take those mushrooms, my children.
I didn't think it was weird that he had a paneled van. I thought Mario could, why don't he just transport himself?
And he was like trying to give kids candy out in the parking lot?
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily. I think that was just role playing. I don't necessarily know what's going on there, but we spared no expense with the wardrobe. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, comment, all of that, because it helps with the algorithm. We were suspended from YouTube for the first week, and of course, this is going to happen again. Hold on, Alex.
So really quickly.
But before that, it's MadMaxWorld.tv,
Yes.
right? Is where you're not streaming later.
Not at noon Eastern. Not at
correct.
No, not at all.
Not at Infowars.com. Not at MadMaxWorld.tv that gets around the censors and links.
Absolutely
do not go there.
No.
Do not watch me host from your studios and run to the wall again and bleed.
No,
it
exactly. He's not. He's unemployed. He doesn't do a show at noon at MadMaxWorld.tv.
So
we have breaking news on Louisville.
Just an update on the Louisville thing. If you want to bring up the CNN feed here, the shooter is dead. They took the shooter down. We got word of that a few minutes.
Yay.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
At least that's good.
Guess what? A good guy with a gun showed up and stopped the shooter. I don't know if I assume it's a police officer at this point, but we'll find out later. So 5 dead, 6 are taken to the hospital. There's one officer that was killed, I think, so far, and one officer that's injured. But we don't know how or why or what is going on quite yet. So we'll keep you guys updated as that.
Well, here's the thing, and this is like there's a lot of speculation, and people say, oh, thoughts and prayers. How about you do something? How about you don't react impulsively and emotionally? And here's the thing, whether it was a police officer, whether it was a good Samaritan, or whether it was the shooter themselves committing suicide, either way, this person was stopped with. It's the only prediction that we can make that we know will be correct with 100% certainty. The shooter was stopped by someone with a gun. Maybe a knife, but I doubt it.
Yeah. By the way, pull up if somebody can find it in the control room, pull up the David Hogg tweet about the people, good guys with a gun stopping it. He actually said that line and said, that's stupid. If that was the case, then we would fight fires with flamethrowers, or we need more flamethrowers. Not realizing that that's exactly how people fight forest fires, is with other fires. There's a picture of a guy with a flamethrower.
I found that out when I was I remember younger. I was going, fight fire. Don't you fight fire with water? And then someone said, actually, let me explain to you about controlled burns. I was like, oh, you bullshit. We really do fight fire with fire. But again, I would learn. I wasn't an arrogant, chinless prick.
I remember like 15 years ago reading an article about they ought to, I think it was the Texas Tribune or something, they need to ban the Mexicans setting fires down in Mexico. That's going to burn things down. No, that's why they don't have the fires, because they, quote, rake the forest, like Trump famously said they made fun of them.
Right.
It's the same thing in Europe. They do controlled burns. Then they use
all the time.
They use the ashes then to plant crops, because that's what they need to grow.
That's important for topsoil, too.
Absolutely.
That's why when a lot of people are surprised, I say there are actually more trees right now on Earth than in recorded history. It's because we've done a lot of work to preserve trees, but we also haven't taken into account the idea that trees, often those fires, they rage and they take down entire forests, and we've stopped them entirely.
By building fire breaks. Roads are natural fire breaks.
Right. Yes.
And in fact, that's statistically true. There are more trees now in 2023. I think like 30-40% more than when
They started keeping records.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane.
Well, a big part of it, too, is because we've become more efficient with farming, right? Everyone had their own farm, so they would have to clear for farmland, and now not everyone is a farmer. Some people live in cities, but also we're far more efficient. We can yield a lot more from the land. So, yeah, that's another fact. I don't know how we got here, but, yeah, more trees than ever in recorded history. Oh, David Hogg.
The David Hogg flamethrower thing.
I love that now. He's 18 now, right? Yeah, so is Greta Thunberg. Totally, so you can make fun of them. Remember when we got suspended on YouTube for making fun of Greta Thunberg?
I think she was 17.
She was 17.
Come on, man.
The internet is a very different place. Does anyone out there comment below? You remember the Olsen twins countdown clock? Back at E-Bombs World or something awful? They were like, when they were 17, it was when. And by the way, just so you know, before, at the time, I mean, the Olsen twins are my age, right? Yeah. So I think they're. So it was like teenagers who were like 19 and 20 are going, oh, the Olsen twins are going to be 18. It was a joke. It was satire. But now you can't even tease Greta Thunberg when she's up there asking us, how dare we? How
remember
dare
why
you?
I got suspended on Twitter? It wasn't for the reason they later expanded and exaggerated and basically made up what I said. It was because I confronted Oliver Darcy, the minion of Brian Stelter.
Yeah, he was at the Blaze, and then he was at CNN, or he's still at CNN.
And then he's waiting to go in a committee room. There was, by the way, a committee attacking me by name, but they wouldn't let me in. And I say, how dare you go around and try to police and get me off the internet? Now you're trying to get me off Twitter. Man, that's really un-American. Yeah. And they said I bullied him. That was the final strike.
Yeah, exactly. You bullied him by confronting him when he was trying to remove
your ability. We have the David Hogg picture.
Oh, do we have the David Hogg picture? Let's bring this up.
The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Well, if that's the case, why don't we just replace all our fire extinguishers with flamethrowers?
Wow, and then they say the right is reductive.
The truth is, backburning, this is like controlling fires. Backburning involves small fires along with a man-made or natural fire break.
There's a guy with a flamethrower right there just...
By the way, that's the most effective. That's what stops them. You guys know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's also better for the environment because you don't have to take a bunch of water and use a bunch of fuel to go up in one of those planes.
I don't grant his point, but he's even stupid in making that point. It's like
he's a very dumb person.
Yes.
Well, he once attacked me on C-SPAN and said Jones is a horrible profiteer. He talks about how there's poisons in the water and then sells water filters. Dad, those are ads where we're like, look, most water supplies are toxic. You need to filter it. We sell a filter that's high quality, highly rated. That's the whole point of an advertisement. It's like, we have good tires we make. They've been rated really good for your car. You want our tires.
Right.
It's like he thought it was like some weird conspiracy, a straight sale to people.
Right. Because it's not like he's profiteered off of mass shootings, and he doesn't show up every time there's a camera, even though when you're talking about the shooting that took place.
And then do big fundraisers that he does nothing with.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, didn't he launch like a MyPillow competitor?
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes?
No, it was MyPillow Biter was his. And it did not do very well.
He really did.
Yeah.
It was Good Pillow. Good Pillow.
It was Good Pillow.
I think.
Yes, it was Good Pillow, and it didn't work.
It's the Good Pillow. That's what it was. The Good Pillow.
Yeah. Nothing like being a commie bastard that actually tries to make money off of people selling a product.
Well, then he found out, I remember his tweet, he was saying, it's really actually a lot harder running a business than we thought, so like we're not able to do this. Guys, you don't know how much work goes into this. Like everyone who dislikes you does.
Because we actually work.
It's fair.
All right, so hey, and tomorrow, by the way, tomorrow is a special installment. It's actually and we don't need to necessarily run the teaser, but tomorrow we're going to be discussing Muhammad Ali. It's going to be a super video uploaded on location.
Yeah.
The untold history. A lot of you believe that Muhammad Ali was an anti-right wing. He was an anti-war leftist activist. And you may not actually know the truth about Muhammad Ali, how he changed and evolved later in his life when he rejected the teachings of Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam and actually campaigned for Orrin Hatch and Ronald Reagan.
Wow,
and actually had a very close relationship with Donald Trump. So he went from racist liberal activist to conservative, compassionate activist later in life. And I think it's a story that a lot of people have not heard, so that'll be uploaded tomorrow, and there's a lot of work that's gone into it. And let me tell you this right now, guys, we actually cannot discuss what we're about to discuss here on YouTube today.
It's true.
Because it is the definitive hit list in response here to, I guess, sort of in relevancy to Riley Gaines being assaulted. A lot of you see this and you feel like you're getting tired of seeing these stories because it happens ad nauseum. But I often try and think of, okay, what is it that you right now watching, listening, really could use so that you feel as though you're equipped? And I think you probably would like to have a laundry list, right? Have an actual definitive list of these assaults, when they've been committed, who committed them, so you can reference them at will and also understand maybe why there is some science behind the fact that these assaults are being committed at a disproportionate rate from the transgender leftist activists. So the problem is we cannot do this on YouTube. There's no way. We had two strikes, technically 3, but only 2, and we were suspended. We just got back on here. We have not heard a response from YouTube yet as to why, so they can suspend us at any given second. So,
but it's like sticking your ding dong in a light socket. You cannot talk about the holy church of transgenderism.
It's science.
My question is either how small is your ding dong or how large are your light sockets? Because either one is a gross enthusiasm.
I have the largest micro penis in North America.
I mean, you can at least could you use a gumball machine? You got to use a socket. All right. So right now, hit share if you're on YouTube, like.